Hello, welcome back to another F-Cubed video. Earlier today, the 13th of June, there was a little Q&A with Nikita on the TwitchGaming channel. I had some new information, and I recorded the gameplay in the background during the Summer Game Fest stream a couple of days ago. And I'm just going to be going over the news, and then at the end of the video, I'll be kind of expounding and saying what I think all of this news means, kind of my interpretation of it. So if you're just here for the news, then just stick around for the beginning, and if you want to hear a little bit more, then feel free to stick around to the end. And let's get into the news as ASAP as possible. So first of all, Nikita said that they are getting there on Streets. He said they didn't anticipate any delays on Streets and that it should come out when they say that it is going to. So, you know, around December-ish, I would guess. And then he also said that all of the maps combined would only be a small portion of the Streets of Tarkov, so Streets is going to just be huge. He said that they're shooting for 60 frames per second on Streets, and that they want around 40 PMCs, as well as all of the scavs and the AI scavs and the bosses. So there's going to be a lot of people moving around on Streets. And he said that there's probably going to be 3 bosses on Streets most likely, and that they might implement a roaming boss system, so bosses from other maps can also come on Streets as well. He said the BTR that's at the end of the video will be kind of like a taxi for your PMC group, and you can pay the driver to drive you around and also support you with turret fire. And then he said in order to combat the BTR, they're going to be adding explosive weapons such as RPG-7s and mines. And they talked about like how they create the environments. He said that they 3D scan everything that they can and the models and stuff, and that they want to make Streets playable by modeling everything that would be like in like a war-torn looted city. So they want to, you know, put rubble everywhere and make it look like places have been looted. He said that Concordia is just one building and could be a map in and of itself, and that they just started doing the balancing on Streets and they're playing it to see what they need to change before they release the map. And then he said that there's going to be minor physics for destructible environments such as books and keyboards, and that it's not going to be used in networking. All of that is going to be local. Then Nikita said that you can breach certain walls, and that the AI will also use wall breaching, and that there will be preset areas such as wooden doors that can be breached with explosives. 12.11 is really close, and in that they're going to be implementing the scav karma system, and the scav karma system basically means that you're going to be getting better gear on the scav from fence if you have good karma. And he said that high scav karma will also mean better perks and locked assortments of new stuff from fence. And he said that the boss squads will help you if you have good karma instead of just killing you on sight like they do now. And the last thing he said, they are going to be adding karma to the PMC as well once they have tested scav karma thoroughly. And that's it for the news. If you want to stick around for like a little bit of more in-depth breakdown, then feel free. So first of all, talking about how all of the maps are going to be a small portion of Streets, I think that just goes to show why it's been taking so long for Streets, because they've been working on it for like I think longer than 2 years. And then I'm interested to see if we are going to be hitting 60 frames per second when we have all of the PMCs on the location, as well as all the scavs and the AI scavs as well, because I just feel like that's going to be a pretty heavy load on the servers, so I'd be interested to see if we do hit that 60 frames per second still. And using the BTR as a taxi, part of me is wondering if it's going to be like the meta to run and find the BTR as fast as you can, so you can kind of get it like on your side. But it seems like you'll be able to combat it with the RPGs, so it's not just going to be super OP to whoever buys the driver, I guess. So also we've been seeing Concordia, and that's pretty much what we've seen in the last Streets teaser, and you know, it seems to be quite large, and obviously it is looking quite detailed, and it makes me excited to see what the other areas are going to be. But we have to remember that they're not going to be releasing the full map of Streets at one time. They're just going to release a smaller portion of it and then release other parts of it as we go, kind of like what they did with the other few maps. like getting customs expansion and the tunnels in reserve and that kind of thing. As far as the physics go, I think that it's going to be really a good thing that the destructible books and keyboards and everything are going to be on the client side and not on the server side, because from what I understand about networking, the more that's on the server, then the more like it has to like churn through in order to make things happen. So I think it's going to be awesome that if it is local, that if you if you shoot out like a bookshelf or something, all the books will fly away on your screen. But playing with like a partner, then it won't go happen on their screen until they shoot the books. So what it's going to do is it's just going to reduce the load on the server, and it's just hopefully going to help things run a little bit more smoothly. AI using wall breaching, I think that's going to be insane. Maybe it's pretty much just going to be reserved for the different bosses and their crews that are on the Streets location. But like when I first saw breaching, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool for players to do. But the fact that he said AI are going to use it just ramps up the fear factor by like 11. So we're going to have the cracks, like the cracked areas in the wall, so the areas that have all the cracks and are kind of like circular, I think those are going to be breachable. But the like if you shoot your grenade like 10 feet to the left on a wall that's not cracked like that, then you're not going to have the same outcome. So it's not, luckily, so it's not going to be everywhere can be breached, just going to be certain spots. And maybe the wooden doors that have like really good loot spawns behind them, maybe we'll be able to breach those instead of getting a key. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. And as far as Scav Karma, when he said, and I think I quoted it pretty much word for word, it's going to have better perks and locked assortments of new stuff from Fence. Like, I have no idea what that means. If that means like it's stuff you can only get from Fence if you have good karma, but maybe there's like a translation error. That's what he said, and yeah, I have no idea what that means. So it'll be fun to figure it out once that drops. And that's kind of everything for my analysis and like what I think is going on. Definitely I'll be making more videos like this, and there's a lot that I have planned for this channel and for the Tarkov content. So yeah, if you like it, then you know what to do, and I will see you in the next one.